the host of Literary Voices. We're here this Tuesday afternoon, a special episode. It's not Sunday.
No, that's right. That's right. In life.
In live, yes. We're live streaming from Abidoc Productions, Inc., located at 2300 Finch Avenue, Unit 60. It is really, this is a very important interview, we all know. And this interview really is about the black voter base, right?
Yes.
Okay. So before we, delve into the whole issue, the reason why we are here, maybe you give us, the viewers, those who do not know who Dewitt Lee is and Peter Lopez is, you give us a little bit about who each of you are within our community and how you've been working within our community. So, my far left.
Okay. Well, greetings, everyone who are watching. Thank you for making this a priority. Time is precious. And so I thank you for investing your time in this moment with us. I want to also thank you, Literary Voices, for allowing us to be here. I don't know if the song you were playing, Second Chance, was for us, because this is the second time we were on the air, and the first time we had a listen. So I don't know if that was for us, if that was like a subliminal message, but I couldn't help but to make the connection.
I think it's all good.
But I am grateful
good.
For a second chance.
Yes.
So that song did second chance and everything. And, but this is a moment that we may not get a second chance in. Mm-hmm. We are in we are planted right now in a ward that is highly contested.
Before you go there,
I'm going into that.
You're
and I think,
okay.
and I'll be happy to share.
Yes.
Well, I do have some experience in politics.
Yes.
In the last 2 municipal elections, I represented my community on the ballot, in the debates, live on TV, for the position of mayor, 2010 and 2014. And it was a different kind of landscape than now. We have many more candidates who are qualified, who are prepared, who are organized, and who are ready to step into real leadership. So, whatever small part I may have played in just providing, proof that we belong and that we deserve an opportunity to lead, I'm just grateful that, that there has been some kind of great residual from those efforts and great sacrifices of running. This year, I was going to basically spend this election like many people at home, reading the media, watching social media, and basically making a decision based off of a flyer and maybe a 30-second video. Obviously lending my help whenever the call came, and that call did come. Mm-hmm. And I was asked to come in and co-chair on a candidate's campaign. And I was very excited about it because I feel like I have a lot to give back from my experience in politics and just understanding the people of Toronto. Mm-hmm. And I was very enthusiastic about joining and taking on that task. Well, there's been a lot of mix-up and change-up in the wards,
yes.
Ward sort of boundaries, and that put 2 of our beloved members of our community, well, more than 2, but two really strong candidates from our community against each other. And it was for the first time that I really saw how unorganized we were, how unprepared we were to be able to handle this kind of...
So who are these 2 candidates that you're talking about within 3?
And not to leave anyone out, but the 2 that I had actually have a personal relationship with was Mr. Winston LaRose and Tiffany Ford, who are now running against each other.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so is Amanda Coombs.
Of course, who's made us all very, very proud, and is really running a great campaign. And so being on the ground and, just seeing what kind of division was taking place among our community,
yes.
Just the emotional strain
yes.
that I was able to pick up on. And you may not be able to pick up on it, but I'm very sensitive to how people feel, right? Mm-hmm. I'm very sensitive to the pain of people.
Yes.
And every time I came across someone, there was great concern. And it really has everything to do with Mama Lidi, right? Because Mama Lidi is someone who should not be given a second chance, or in this case, maybe a 10th chance, We need new, fresh leadership that is going to truly respect people, and that's just the beginning. So, nevertheless, being in that situation here in Ward 7, I realized that it's time for us to build a base. It's time for us to take emotions out of elections and just vote strategically and purposely.
Perfect.
And so here we are today.
And you have been in this, you have tried being in a mayoral race twice.
Right.
That's right.
That's
okay,
right.
so you come from a background of being both the forefront and also as a community grassroots.
Absolutely, and it changes everything, right? It
Yes.
changes your perspective of everything, and what it does is it really makes people make decisions. And what I notice in our community, that's one thing when it comes to this
Yes.
area in this space that we're just not really great at. Making a decision, standing behind one candidate, and voicing that, right? There's a lot of secrets, and
we will delve deeper
Yeah.
into that.
but I will just say this. So I have basically removed myself from any one candidacy and any one campaign, so that we can build a base and an infrastructure to support candidates all across the province.
Okay. Mr. Peter Lopez, my immediate left.
Well, my name is Peter Lopez. I was born in Jamaica, and I migrated to this beautiful country almost 30 years ago. I entered the political arena when I was 14 years old, and I've never left it. I have been in various active roles, but my last 4 companies I ran, large companies working for multinationals as a human resource manager. But my heart has always been in giving people a voice, and as an HR director, what I did was I helped the company to achieve its goals by ensuring that its staff, human resource, were well taken care of. I helped to train, I helped to organize, and I also helped to promote people up to different levels. So that's my background. Coming to Canada, I ran 2 factories in Jamaica, and I ran 2 factories here.
Yes.
And my experience here was quite different. Seeing something from the outside and actually coming to work in it, I found out that life was different. My involvement in this particular activity called the Black Voter Base is because I recognize that the 2 things are going to change Canada and change our presence in North America. One, and first and foremostly, is our economic footing. If we are economically secure, we will be able to do the following thing, which is get proper political representation. And the Black Voter Base is trying to reverse a trend in North America and in Canada. I will speak specifically of Toronto and Ontario, where basically the black vote has been ignored. And why do I say ignored? I say ignored because, well, the most frequently comment that you get from anybody who's involved in active political representation is that, well, generally speaking, black people don't vote. And you hear it, I've heard it many times. I've spoken to people in all different spheres in this country, and it seems that they don't think they should vote. And I want to give them not only a reason to vote, but allow them to understand that only through representation are we going to be able to change anything. If not, we are just beggars at the table of the master, waiting for him to drop something off it. And I don't believe in that. So I believe what we're doing now is voter education.
Yeah. You did mention that black voters don't vote, and it's something that maybe as early as last week, I heard a young black lady ranting about why do I even want to vote when they don't do anything for the community.
That's right.
Yes, so it's a lot of detachment of, and she's not the only one.
She's not.
Yes.
She's highly represented.
She is highly represented.
Yes. So because of that, we don't vote. Then we go in, we are also not represented because we did not vote for what we needed, the change that we needed.
So there's that part of the demographic that don't vote, and then there's the other part of the demographic that does vote, but not strategically.
Yes.
So even though you do something, listen, if you brush your teeth with the wrong side of the toothbrush, you're not doing a good job brushing your teeth, okay? So at the end of the day, no matter if you're doing it, but you're doing it wrong, okay, then you might as well not do it. Okay, so both areas of are great concern to us, especially those who are going to the polls. Okay, those who already have their mind made up that they want to go to the polls. We plan on giving them a solution, right, and an opportunity to apply their vote where it truly matters. Because the work that we're doing on the back end, I think, is revolutionary. I mean, the phone calls that I've had with counselors.
It is, because as soon as I heard that, it's like, why have we not thought about this for so long?
It's maturity. I tell you what. I made a post, and I blamed it on, first I blamed it on Doug Ford, because you know what? He made our voice more faint, right? He made our presence more invisible by shifting the wards the way he did. And so I like to blame that this is a response to that. This is a proactive response to that. Instead of complaining, we are countering, right? Instead of complaining, we're countering. But it's really not that.
Our previous interview, you said that is a positive.
It is a positive.
It is a positive.
So we're turned it into a positive, right? So, but it's not just a reaction, but it's really, I think, a moment of maturity.
Yes.
I don't think a child knows the difference between the day you're interested in a little boy is interested in little girls, and all of a sudden, strangely, you don't recognize when that happens. It just happens. One morning you wake up and, Sarah's kind of cute now, right? Right?
We need to wake up.
So I think we slipped into, we went to sleep and woke up, and we woke up a little bit more mature.
Yes.
Right?
And I just want to say something. Jamaicans have been here in Canada for over 400 years. Jamaicans. I'm speaking now as a Jamaican West Indian. And I'm telling you that for the 350 plus years that we've been here, we have very little to show for it. And the reason why we have very little to show for it is because we have, unlike in the West Indies, we're in Trinidad, Guyana, Barbados, Jamaica, we are highly represented because our governments look like us. Yes. We've come here, and after 350 years, government still doesn't look like us.
Yes.
And the reason why is because we've been lost in, we've been in the desert. We've been like Moses, who was for 40 years going around in a circle. So we need to get out of the circle now. We need to start to head to the promised land. And where's the promised land? The promised land is whatever we want to make of Canada.
Yes.
We love this country. We want the best for this country, but we have to participate, and we've got to stop having so many people say what that young lady told you. I've heard that thousands of times. It's almost as if we have no place at the political table. Well, the truth is you have no place if you demand no place. Yes. And if you want to be ignored, it's the easiest thing to ignore somebody. So what we're doing with the black voter base is that we are stimulating what every single citizen has in them, whether you're newly landed or otherwise. What do they have in them? One, they come here with a willingness to work hard. Yes. Every immigrant that comes here, I don't care whether we are any part of the African diaspora you come from, and you arrive here, you're willing to work hard. They always say. Secondly, in the Caribbean and in Africa and in Asia, there is a thing called a brain drain. Yes. We have the most talented people here, and per capita, immigrants are much more qualified and highly educated per capita. And that is something also that is not necessarily spoken about. We have more master's degree, PhDs, first degrees here than per capita than anybody else. And finally, if our voice is to be heard, we've got to be at the table. Yes. You cannot be heard from outside knocking at the door. So all we're asking and all we're looking for is to get people to recognize their real strength and power, get them involved first and foremost in the economy by buying, owning, and getting them involved in the process of electoral representation. By doing the most basic thing that you do, vote. There is nothing in democracy, in Western democracy or any democracy. It is the most basic pillar of life. voting.
Which doesn't get the kind of support from an educational platform, right?
Yes.
We've gone to community centers, we've talked to different people in that space, and they do not accommodate it, they do not teach it. They provide services for everything else but voter education and information. But for those who are watching, I want to just keep, because I'm keeping track of the things that I've said and things that I've heard, and I keep hearing the question, so what is the black voter base, right?
Yes.
So I want to be very specific. Okay, so first of all, we are not just for Toronto. We are not building just for Ontario. We are building across Canada. And we're going to create tools that's going to help activate a black voter base in New Orleans, in Ghana, in London, or wherever else we populate, and we demand representation. Okay, so so now people understand the scope.
So is it an organization?
Well, it is, and you know what? We're creating chapters.
Okay.
Okay, and we're looking for people. We have people in Ottawa, we have people in London, Ontario, we have people in Hamilton, right, who are helping galvanize, right. But I'm fortunate to have great support. Peter helping me here in Toronto is been instrumental. And us being able to really get some mind share and get the concept and really refine the concept in a very quick period of time.
Yes.
But I want everyone to understand this. What our intention is to really give our community leverage and bargaining power. Okay, when it comes to politics.
So leverage and bargain power.
And this is how we do it.
Okay.
So we'll move and act on behalf of African Canadian voters by helping them elect first their representative. Okay, now this is revolutionary because what we are inviting the community to adopt, what we're really putting it on the community to adopt. We really don't have time for discourse here, but we're saying if you're from the African Canadian community and you want to run for office, there is going to be a primary among your community. Okay? So that means you're going to be selected as a representative. By our community. Now we've created online surveys. We'll be creating live atmospheres where people can vote. But they're going to decide which person from our community will represent our community. So there will be only one person from our community on the slate.
What has happened
instead of what happened in Ward 7, right? And happened in a few other places, right? So this will give us a representative, right? And then they will then compete against the other candidates to become the elected official, right? So that is the system that we are looking to introduce.
So we're preventing the
divide, the splitting the vote.
Splitting the vote.
And also making sure that our vote isn't taken for granted any longer. So we're creating, a system of accountability for whoever gets the job. And we are going to hold them to the fire, and we are going to provide information, not just where to vote, okay, but who to vote for, based off of their voting record, based off of their commitment to our community, their visibility in our community, okay, and the tangible things that they have done. We've actually put together a short list of demands, and these demands on behalf of the BVB will have to be agreed upon any candidate that we recommend. Now, we have a date where our recommendations will be going out, and that's coming very soon. But we wanted to wait until tomorrow. At least we wanted to have tomorrow to be a day of great unity, okay? Because the thing is, once we put out our recommendations, those are the only candidates that we can support. Okay? So we have to draw the line and say, all right, it's time to get to work, and these are the people who we want in office, all right? But tomorrow is a day of unity.
So tomorrow, what is happening?
Well, tomorrow, first of all, is the first day in Toronto that we can vote.
Okay,
it's the first day the polls open up. And during the advance vote, during this week, you can vote in your own ward at a few different polling stations, or you can come to City Hall.
City Hall?
Yes, City. Or you can come on down to City Hall, where it all goes down.
Okay.
Right? So what, actually, and this is something that I did in my campaign in 2014. So in 2014, I asked all my supporters, no matter where they are in Toronto, to meet me at City Hall and vote with me.
Okay.
So they all voted with me in the last election. And so I just kind of took a play from that book and now offered it to all of the candidates, right? And said, listen, let's all show up at City Hall between 5 and 7 p.m. Let's celebrate democracy. Let's celebrate our right to vote, because this is something that has been stripped from us, and we've been deterred to do for so long.
Community unity.
This is a community unity moment, right?
Yes.
And this is also a hello, the black voter base is here moment.
Yes.
A lot of people don't understand we are in the decade of people of African descent. The UN has issued from now to 2024, 25, to be our decade where we are focused on Afrocentric needs, okay? And we're building our identity, right? So we have to get comfortable with being who we are, right? So we get, and you know what? Not only do we have to get comfortable, but so does the rest of the world that never had to worry about me showing up.
I just want to say one thing about movements. This is a movement. The structures tend to come with the movement.
Yes.
And most independence movements in the Caribbean, if you look at all of them, the history of Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, if you look in Ghana, if you look into the African continent, a lot of the consciousness about independence came about by intellectuals and leaders who came back with a zest, an energy that many of them studied in England, and they came back to the Caribbean and to Africa, and they saw India that with Nehru that actually went out and did something.
Yes.
They broke away from the British colonial empire.
Yes.
This is a movement here of consciousness. That's what we're trying to develop. We're trying to allow people to understand that the power is in your hands. Yes. But you have to seize the time.
Yes.
And what we're asking people to do right now is to seize the time. The event tomorrow is symbolic. But like many parts of the movement, you will find that there are ebbs and flows. What we are clear is that this does not stop with the election that's coming now.
That's right.
Yes.
This is a
ongoing
municipal election.
Yes.
We're going to have provincial elections. We're going to have federal elections.
In 1 year from now.
And all of this is coming, and what we don't want to have is ignorant, lacking in knowledge, people who don't realize that our representation is going to make all the difference. And they will speak to us as a voting group. Now, I just want to say of what Dewitt said. Nothing is going to stop certain black candidates in certain ridings from going up against each other.
That's right.
We can't stop it. It's democracy. And we're not trying to stop it. What we are glad is that so many people are interested in running now, that we finally can say we need to get organized. Because if you have, in every horse race, there are a few that will come in first, second, and third. And sometimes you need a photo finish. You actually need a photograph to actually see which horse's nose is in front of the other. So in any race, you're going to have winners and losers. This movement does not end with an election date. This movement will never end, because ongoing. To this day we still talk about Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the founder of African unity, the one who made people in the Caribbean, in North America, in Latin America, throughout Africa recognize that we are united, we are one people, and we have one destiny. Now,
and one vote.
Everyone is going to have to pay their part. If you don't vote, I said this from the day I landed in Canada, if you don't vote, you have no say.
Exactly.
And actually, in all fairness to those who are elected, if you never participated in their election, then you really have very little to tell them once they're in office. Because you shirked your first duty. Your first duty was to show up and vote. And we are calling on all people of African descent, from every part of the hemisphere, from every part. I don't care where you came from. As Peter Tosh put it, as long as you're a black man, you're an African. And we're all Africans. I'm an African from Jamaica. But we are all Africans because we know that it is truly the motherland. But more importantly, we know that we have such beautiful cultures that have built empires. And in this province of Ontario, in this city of Toronto, we need to make a difference. We are asking all people, please wake up. The time has come for us to participate in a meaningful way. We love this country. And what we love about this country is that it offers us the freedom to do what we're doing right now. But what we know is that we need more. The first Jamaicans came here and were left in Nova Scotia. And that is hundreds of years ago. What do we have to show for it? A few things. We have brothers and sisters from every part of the diaspora, the African diaspora, here. And all we're saying is recognize. No longer should their answer be, oh, I will never vote, or I don't want to vote, or why am I voting?
Right, because
we
it's a
need
slate.
to answer the question, why you're voting? You're voting because you make a difference, because you want a future. And by the way, one other thing. I'm one thing, but I have Canadian kids here too.
Yes.
I have one son in Jamaica, and I have 3 beautiful children here. My kids who are born here, I have 2 beautiful daughters who are born here. No one will ever be able to say to them, go back to where you come from, because where they come from is Mississauga. You got it? So we can go back. No, if you want to talk about who owned Mississauga, don't let's get into that.
The Mississaugas.
It's named after who?
The Mississaugas.
Thank you very much. The native people. So
That's
we don't want to go into the robbery right now. Because our debt is owed. By the way, Canada, our debt is owed because you owe them a lot. Because you took what you didn't. The concept of borders was not introduced by the native people. The concept of borders. That being said, we are happy. We are enthused. We are glad because we want all people to look towards representation now. Because following on that, we are also speaking about my mission is to teach economic empowerment. If there's anything that the black voter base is going to do is one, representation. But right beside that and simultaneously, I'm talking about economic involvement in
that's how
every
you vote.
sense of the word.
Right, that's how you vote. We, as people, vote at the ballot, and we also vote at the bay. When you go to the bay and you pay, okay? So our dollars are voting currency. And so just as we are mobilizing our base and being able to know who's where and who's who, we're going to also be able to say, oh, this business decided they wanted to, to step out of bounds or be disrespectful or not observe Black History Month. Okay, well, then we're showing up.
I think as we're discussing this, one key point that I would ask is that we're talking about the African or the Black diaspora here in Canada. How have you guys been able to reach the sort of like the Ghanaian community here in Canada and the other communities? Because I know when you do it at the community center, you get all various aspects of the.
Well, I think we are. That's an issue, right?
Yes.
Being able to communicate and reach everyone, in a timely fashion, it's an issue, and the truth is, this is part of our platform as we reach out to and negotiate with these counselors for our recommendation. So a list of our demands, one includes better communication tools to speak to the different communities, because if I can't reach my people, right, they certainly are going to have a difficult time doing it. So we're going to give them a marketing strategy and marketing tools to say these are the mediums that reach these demographics, and you need to make an investment in reaching them, because now their ward size have doubled. Yes. Okay, so one of the pillars of our demands is that they have to support creating a community liaison position. Okay, and we are in the process of finding attracting revenue streams, and we are going to actually lean on them to commit financially to support an office where we will be able to appoint a member of our community to be the designated community liaison to work with the counselor and work with the community and make sure that the messages reach the people in a timely fashion.
I just want to say something about divisions. In Africa right now, there are lots of things that are beginning to happen. The first thing is that those lines that divide countries that were put there by the colonial masters at the Berlin Conference.
Yes.
Those are kind of lines that we don't really recognize fully in this sense.
Yes.
We know that they're countries. But the way Africa was divided was a set of Europeans decided that they were going to carve it up the way they found best. But there are voices in Africa that are now saying all Africa is for the Africans. We are the Africans. They're reaching out to brothers in North America, in England, and there's a whole movement going on. And let me just let everybody be aware. This level of consciousness has been enhanced by smartphones Because even a dumb person can use a smartphone. And guess what? The information on the internet that's available now in the power of our hand. It means if you are in the middle of the Congo, literally in the middle, and something happens, by tonight, if I YouTube it, the whole world knows. We are no longer people who are going to be controlled by color division, by country division, by any other class or other distinction. We are people who are speaking as a group. And I'm glad to say that there are many. I saw on WhatsApp a confession and a ceremony that was held in Ghana that was apologizing for the role that Africans played in the slave trade.
There's healing going on. There's healing.
And that was powerful. And the brothers who were speaking from the motherland were saying, we take responsibility too. And we're asking not only for your forgiveness, but we are asking now for the unity that comes with our understanding. There are movements going on in South Africa right now that are powerful movements that will not be stopped. Because they are no longer just accepting that we are going to be divided by tribe and by a actual line that was drawn up in Europe and said that this is where you divide. It took no responsibility nor respect for the actual groups, the tribes, and the people that were in the area. And all we're saying now about the black voter base, because I want to get back to that, is we've got to wake up. Canada, United States, please, this moment is for us. If we do not stand for something, we will fall for anything. And what we're saying now, we are no longer just going to have people there. And by the way, just because you are black doesn't mean
that you're on
the team.
That you're going to make it.
As far as what are the issues that we're going to be dealing with. Because let me explain something. We all have common issues. But we will no longer just be using token representation. We're going to talk to each councillor. And by the way, to my white brothers, and I want to make a call out right now, to our white brothers, brother, if you are working with our community, we are with you.
And sisters.
If you are working against our community, we will be against you. And that goes for brothers and sisters who are represented. Because I can tell you, there are many people in the house now, all houses, the municipal house, the provincial house, and the federal house, who we know will speak and will assist us.
And that was the point. That's a very valid point.
We know that there are some that will not.
And I tell you what, as we began putting these from scratch, okay, I originally thought this was going to be full of black candidates. The slate would be all black candidates. And as we started to decide strategically which candidate has the best chance to win, we had to keep our mind on the prize, and that's winning elections and getting proper representation and having arrangements with representation that we can hold them accountable to. And so that made us expand our minds, right? And it took a while for me to come to grips with knowing that this slate that's going to be approved, and not just by Peter and I, right? The plan is to get as much input from as many people that we trust as possible. That's the whole point of the base. The base will make the decision. And if it's 51 to 49, whoever gets 51 wins, right? And that's who we endorse. So this is a model that requires the voice of everyone to help us make these decisions.
Let me just, the base endorses, does not interferes with the two people. The base just endorse the representative. And then if the two people want to go, they still go ahead.
Yes, but you could run against the base, but people will not vote against the slate, right? Yes. So that's the sort of the mentality that that I at least live by these days. So I made a commitment that if I decide I want to run for mayor or councilor again, if I don't get elected by my people as their representative, then I don't run. Right? So I'm willing to put my own political career, in the hands of the people and the wisdom of the crowd and the wisdom of the village. And, we need to return to some of those, ways of existing where there's elders and there's yes, Peter.
I want to make another comment. Because the ridings are all now much larger, councillors, I'm speaking to you, whoever gets elected, you're all going to need help. You have
Well, they agreed to that.
50 to 100,000 now, and you might have, some may have 120,000 people. That's a lot of people. You are going to need help. So what we are hoping is that a system of deputy councillors, of people in the community who are activists, who are involved, who run. And by the way, for those of us who do lose, some of you are going to lose. Everybody can't win. You're going to be one elected position. We have a role for you as well. If you are sincere about what you are running for, then you'll be very sincere about the black voter base. Because you will know that as long as you have a voice in Canada that speaks in unity, you will have a place with us. Why? Because we cannot divide and rule anymore. The divide and rule program does not work with us. What we're saying is, here are some common things that we all can agree on.
Yes.
And with those common things that we can all agree on, let us do something about it. Now, for you who get elected, we're going to be watching too. We're going to be seeing, because, you know, I want to take something from our brothers in the United States.
Yes.
You know, when you go for election in America, one of the things that is very often put in your face is what is called your voting record.
Yes.
Now, why is that important? Because you can say anything before you run. When you get into office, how you behave is actually more important.
Okay.
And your track record is determined by your voting record. So now we're going to start paying attention to the issues that come up for the community and where people voted.
And for those who are
Because
watching,
we're not going to work on ignorance anymore. We've got to allow people to understand that candidate number X actually voted against, for example, a program that could help renters to become owners.
and they,
Yes.
And it was a positive program because I believe in home ownership. I've owned homes here for almost all my time in Canada.
Yes.
I am encouraging everybody to own. I'm also encouraging you to own a business.
if I may,
Yes.
those councillors, before they make those votes, they will have a black voter base to consult with. All right. So we're providing a real sounding board. Okay, so that they can say, hey, listen, I have to vote against child. There's a vote coming up against child subsidies.
Yes.
Okay. And they can present that to us. And because we have a database of the people in their ward, right, we can actually poll them, because that's the system where we're creating a polling system among our community. We can poll them, and we can actually get how we feel as a base about that decision. Now, if that council decides to vote against our wishes, well, then they'll have to be accountable. They'll be held accountable, and they'll have to answer to us, right? And we have to neither accept it, because it's business and they have other constituencies and who knows what. But at the end of the day, we're now having real dialogue with this elected official, so we can build that relationship. So they will no longer be able to sit in City Hall, okay, and make decisions based off people that they've never consulted with. That's changing now.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So just to reiterate, tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is the beginning of advanced voting, right? And very, very just a regular thing. It's a regular day. People are showing up, but we're turning a regular thing into an extraordinary thing. We're turning it into a special thing. We're claiming the first day of voting. Like, we're going to claim it. It's going to be the day of the black vote, right? Okay. So we want to build traditions in our households where on the advanced voting day, that's when we show up.
So tomorrow, 5 to 7.
Tomorrow, 5 to 7, we want you to join us at City Hall. Look for the red, black, and green, right? We will be present. There's a few different things we're going to be doing. We have some music guests coming down. We have some special guest speakers. But just please, on the Facebook page right now, you're kind enough to tag our Black Voter Base Facebook page. Just check the page out. The flyers there. The information is there. And so tomorrow is that day. And then we're gearing up to release our recommendations, right? And we were going to do, like I said, endorsements, right? But because I wanted to have more data, so I could really feel good about the decision. So we're just going to provide recommendations and provide something that does not exist. Now, the labor unions provide endorsed lists, right? Right, because they want their people to know who to vote for, right? Because they want to make life as simple as possible, right? Okay. And they want to ensure their members that, listen, we vetted these people out. You can trust us. Vote this way. All right? So we're developing our same base and the same slate, and that'll be released soon. We'll do it here.
So before we have the final word from Peter, I would like to make an announcement. So on October 12th, 2018, which is this Friday coming, Abidoc Productions presents the 8th Annual Abidoc Arts Community and Abidoc Arts Entertainment and Community Service Awards of Excellence. Also present will be Sir Sheena Peters, 60 years birthday celebration on stage and lifetime award of achievement. So the date is October 12th. The location is 10 Dansk Court, Paparazzi Events at 10 Dansk Court in Toronto. The major intersection.
Can I see that? Okay.
And then you can turn it around.
Okay. All right, everyone. I want you to get ready for this. This Friday, right here in Toronto, the 8th Annual Abidoc Arts Entertainment and Community Service Awards of Excellence for 2018.
Yay!
Also, we are celebrating the Earth Strongs of Sir Sheena Peters on stage in Lifetime Achievement Awards given out. So this is going to be a big deal. So please check online for more information. You can call 416-835-3133, and it's only $30.
And that's it.
What a great event.
And just to interject, Sir Sheena Peters has been playing for over 50 years.
Wow.
And one
Legend.
of the,
Legend.
Wow.
He's a legend, a true legend of African music.
See, I didn't know it, but I knew it had to be delivered differently. I didn't know it, but I knew you can't bring up a legend like that. I didn't know, but I knew. I didn't know, but I knew.
Oh yeah, he's a legend.
I didn't know, but I
was
knew.
just trying to be,
No.
but the power,
Well, no, I felt we got to provide
You
real
see, that
reverence.
is why you are leading the black voter base.
right.
That is why you call to it.
Yes.
You don't have a choice.
No.
Maybe you were not meant to be the mayor, but you were meant to galvanize all of us at the bottom and push us forward.
I say.
With this man.
I say.
By
Divided
your
we
side.
stand, divided we fall.
One.
Get
Exactly.
together.
It's really simple. Right on the bottom of our button, we say, we're using and quoting the words of another legend, the Honorable Marcus Garvey. We're using our Pan-African colors for those who know about Emancipation Month. We also changed the month of August into Emancipation Month. So, we don't sit around and status quo too often, right? We shake things up. And so, our slogan is one aim, one vote, one destiny. And my message to everyone watching is to, in the words of Marcus Garvey, who says, "Up, you mighty race." Well, we say, "Up, you mighty base." And, it's all about political clout. No emotions, just elections.
Your votes count, and
Absolutely.
that is really, really important.
Absolutely.
Each person's votes count. So each person should get out, because you do have your voter cards.
right.
Get out there and vote.
Watch our page has all the information. We're at Black Voter Base at Twitter, Instagram, gmail.com, Facebook. I mean, the fact that all of these were waiting for me. I mean, I just registered these things like 3 weeks ago.
Whoa.
Right? I mean, the fact that it was just waiting for us, right, was a true sign that, we are the ones to lead us, because not only are we building a black base, but it also says build it and protect it, right? We're the protectors. We're the generals, right? And if someone was to step in and do this and not have the best intentions, or are not being, I say, prayed up, right, and not have a conscious or relationship with God, politics is ugly. It's a greasy business, right? It's a really greasy business. And you know what? We need someone who's going to be gatekeepers who are men and women of great integrity, right? Great faith and great love for their people. And that's what we are.
Good. Peter, last words for the Black
Well,
voter
all I
base.
have to say is that this has been a long road. We know that the promised land is ahead.
Yes.
But to get there, we have to participate in the process.
Mm-hmm.
We can no longer say that it is okay not to participate, it's okay not to vote.
Mm-hmm.
A mighty people can only be recognized when they truly reflect who they are in every area of activity. Mm-hmm. In economic enterprise, in civics, in our civil behavior, and in our participation. This is our country. We love it. But we of African descent from north, south, east, and west who are here in this province at this time, get out and vote. You'll be hearing more from us.
And for the candidates who decided to get involved in the politics, it's so I'm so overwhelmed and so grateful that they did get their faces and their voices out there to represent at this point in
There's
time.
no question. And you know what? The election process is long. This is why the city allows people to drop out and actually have their name removed, right? Because that's what politics is about. It's about getting out there and getting experience. But when it comes down to this period of time, 1 week, 2 weeks away, we need to have a clear landscape.
Yes.
Undecided is unacceptable. Okay? And so we are going to just, like I said, help foster the growth of our position here in politics. And you know what? The black voter base is a great place for people to get their face out, to get that experience in politics.
Yes.
And to really reach. Listen, there's no person that I can, no matter what part of Toronto I go to, that I can't have a conversation about voting, right?
Yes.
And I'm not going to talk to them about just a candidate. I'm going to talk to them about why they have to vote. And that is such a stronger, more powerful conversation to have with someone than just, hey, I want you to support this person. Why? Because I think they do this. No, I want you to support this person because they agreed to these terms and they are going to be the best representative for people of African descent and their community. And that right there is a win.
Beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful. So after tomorrow, voting at the City Hall, which you said it encompasses a whole lot of things, I think I will have both of you back into the studio after everything.
Sure.
And we will debrief and see the pros and the cons.
I'll tell you, I think next Wednesday we are releasing our recommendations for the Brampton elections. Okay, because there's some hot contests happening out there as well, where we have a few different representatives.
Yes.
And you know what? Someone just has to take a step out. It's going to be unpopular in many situations. I'm prepared for that, especially if the candidate is not of African descent. I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of backlash, and I've been preparing and praying up so that I don't allow that negativity to distract me from our grand vision.
Yes.
But so next Wednesday, the Brampton results come out, and we may also do the Toronto.
Yes.
Then, if not sooner. So I think next week would be a great time, Wednesday.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay,
Beautiful.
let's book it.
So, folks, you've been listening to us on Literary Voices. This is a period in time of African Canadian, say, politics. There is something happening.
There's something
And the black voter base has, how do you call it, galvanized us as a people to participate in these elections. And I would like to say thanks to Doug Ford for whatever decisions he decided to make, and that is the most positive that I believe had happened. It has made people wake up. If it was meant to make the people slip off and fall asleep, unfortunately, they are rather erect and awake and ready to move, ready to galvanize, and ready to make a transformation. And for those who are watching, please do understand that your vote counts.
Yes.
Do not give complaints without voting. Vote for change, the change you do want to see, the change you want to expect. I'm your host, Nana Yayabwa, this Tuesday, 9th of October, 2018. We will see you later.
DJ Melody,